Welcome to my full ship tour of Carnival Horizon, one of the cruise ships owned and operated by Carnival Cruise Line. In this video, I'm going to take you on a full ship tour of every public venue on board, starting from the bottom and working our way all the way up to the very top. Carnival Horizon launched in 2018 and has a guest capacity at double occupancy of 3,960 passengers and a crew capacity of 1,450. If you enjoy this video today, then please do support my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. Now join me on board and let's begin our tour today in our first venue, which is the Horizon Atrium. This atrium spans across decks 3, 4 and 5 and it really is the heart of the ship. All through the night, you're going to find so many events taking place in here, and it's also a great spot to just come and relax with your favourite drink and do some people watching. The lower level of this atrium is where you'll find some key guest facilities. First, you've got guest services where you can come to speak to the team here about anything you need on board the ship. You've then got Carnival Adventures directly opposite. In other words, the shore excursions desk. So if you'd like to book a shore excursion while on your cruise, this is a team that you can speak to. Right next door, you'll find Fun Hub. This is where you can come to access the internet on any of the devices here, but you will require a Wi-Fi or an internet package to do so. Coming off of the main atrium, we find our first dining room of our tour today. Welcome to Reflection Restaurant. This venue is only open for dinner, and it's specifically dedicated for those who sign up for fixed dining during their cruise. In other words, those dining here will eat at the same time each evening. Towards the back of the ship, but remaining on deck number 3, you've got the Meridian Restaurant. This place is huge in comparison to the last one that we just looked at, and it's got this really large, impressive feature bar at one end. This restaurant is open for breakfast, brunch on sea days, and also dinner, and it's where you can sign up to flexible dining or anytime dining. In other words, you turn up to have your dinner when you're ready to eat. That does mean that you can sometimes have to wait to eat at this venue. Now we're up on deck number 4 and we're heading from the back at the Meridian Restaurant towards the front. The first venue that we come across here is the Limelight Lounge. This venue is very multi-purpose. During the day, it'll house seminars, art auctions, so on and so forth, and in the evening, it totally transforms into the onboard comedy club, but also the onboard nightclub. Directly outside is the art gallery. If you enjoy browsing, cruise ship art, or maybe you like to buy the odd piece to take home with you, then I'm sure the team here will be more than happy to help. Further up this corridor, just beyond the art gallery, you find the Skybox Sports Bar. If you are cruising and hoping not to miss your favourite sports fixtures, whether it's soccer, whether it's football, or maybe even baseball, you can see an array of sports in here being streamed to the large flat-screen televisions. Just next door, you'll find Club O2, which is the first of the kids' clubs that we'll look at today. Club O2 is for anyone aged between 15 and 17. As we continue moving towards the front of the ship, you find this huge LED screen. Underneath and all around that screen is the Horizon Casino. Here, you'll find a wide array of all of the table games that you would expect at a cruise ship casino, and you'll also find slot games. In my experience on Carnival Horizon, you would never really have to wait to play any of these machines or any of these tables. It was a very popular casino and therefore really good fun to be in, but they did have more than enough slot machines here to satisfy the demand. All the way at the very front of the ship is where you'll find the Liquid Lounge. This is Carnival Horizon's onboard theatre venue, but it's very different to what you might be expecting from a conventional cruise ship theatre. This venue does transform, depending on what show is on offer. As you can see at the moment, the show that was playing tonight was a bit of a supper club vibe, hence the change of seating down on the lower level. The Liquid Lounge does have an upper level or a mezzanine or a wraparound balcony, and the seating arrangement up here is entirely fixed. I was delighted to see that up on that upper level, every single chair comes with a cup holder, so don't worry about potentially not having somewhere to put your drink during the show if you're sitting up there. We're now up on deck number 5, so we've moved up one more deck, and we're going from the Liquid Lounge at the very front of the ship, and now pushing venue by venue towards the back. The next space that you find is the Horizon Atrium. You'll remember we were here earlier, but down on deck number 3. The top level of the Horizon Atrium is where you'll find a number of shopping boutiques. So if you do enjoy some duty and tax-free shopping while you're travelling, then you might want to come by this area during your cruise. Leaving the main atrium behind, you then find the library, which is a very different venue to any of the others that we've been in on this tour. I found this space to be so quiet and so relaxing. I loved coming in here with my laptop and just getting some work done. It was such a contrast to the rest of the ship, which, to be honest, was a pretty busy environment. A feature that I loved in here was that you could see a live map with the ship and our itinerary and some information about, for example, the weather. Directly across the hall from the library, you'll find Piano Bar 88, which is, yes, as the name suggests, the onboard piano bar. In here in the evening, it is completely alive. You can come and sit in one of the armchairs around the room, or you might choose to sit right up by the piano. Wherever you sit in here, you're more than able and welcome to request your favourite song. Just outside the piano bar is where you'll find Bonsai, Sushi and Teppanyaki. If you enjoy sushi or if you enjoy this style of dining, then you're probably going to really enjoy this venue. Unlike the 2 dining rooms that we looked in earlier, this section is not included in your cruise fare, so if you are looking to enjoy a meal here, you will have to pay a little bit extra in order to do that. In my experience on board, the prices for specialty dining on board Carnival Cruise Line ships are pretty good, so I would recommend giving them a try. I've also found that specialty dining on these ships is much better than what you'll find included in your cruise fare, so if you'd like a treat, go and give it a try. The next specialty dining venue to show you is Farenheit 555 Steakhouse. You'll find this steakhouse directly next door, but across the hall from the Bonsai, Sushi and Teppanyaki venue that we've just been into. In here, you can expect all of your favourite cuts of meat and all of your favourite wines. Here's the space directly outside Farenheit 555, which you can see on the right hand side, and you can now see the Alchemy Bar, which we'll come back to, and here's Bonsai, Sushi and Teppanyaki over on the left, so you can see that all of these venues do share one communal space. That means that the Alchemy Bar is the perfect spot to come for a pre- or post-dinner drink. This place specialises in specialty cocktails. Further down towards the back of the ship, the next space that you'll find is Pixel's Photo Gallery. If you use the onboard photography team to take your photo at any point during the cruise, then this is where you can come to view it, or to make a purchase. You can do that by using any of these tablet devices on the tables or on the sofas by the windows. Next, welcome to Guy's Pig and Anchor Smokehouse and Brewhouse. This is another of the speciality, in other words upcharge, venues on board, but I'm going to tell you a way that you can enjoy the food here totally free of charge. This smokehouse has been put together in collaboration with Guy Fieri. You can expect things like brisket, sausage, baby back ribs, dry rub chicken. There's so much on offer in here, and you can also expect to be drinking beer that's brewed a matter of feet from your table. That's right, some of the beer is actually brewed on the ship. Did you know that you can come by during lunchtime to try the core barbecue items totally free of charge? There's an outside serving area on the Promenade Deck which is attached to this venue, so you don't have to pay a penny or a cent. Heading towards the back of the ship, the next space you find is the JavaBlue Cafe and also Shake Spot. This is the onboard specialty coffee shop and also milkshake shop, and this place is home to some fantastic cakes and donuts. This also blends nicely into Ocean Plaza, which is a relatively small entertainment venue on the ship. This space is home to one of the many dance floors on Carnival Horizon, and there's also direct deck access off of either side. All the way at the back of the ship, on deck number 5, here's Havana Bar. If you want to go on your cruise and feel like you've just stepped into Havana, then this is where you want to come. I was blown away coming in here at night. They've got locally themed music playing in here, and the crowd while I was on board seemed to absolutely love it. Yes, there's another dance floor in here, so if you'd rather be up strutting your stuff, then don't worry, this is exactly where you can come to do that. While this place is an absolutely bustling nightlife venue, it's so much more than that. Here's the Havana Pool and Sundeck, which is just beyond the Havana Bar. If you're cruising as a Havana guest in one of the Havana staterooms on board, then you'll be able to spend time here. This Sundeck does offer a much more exclusive and private and tranquil sanctuary than the main open deck spaces elsewhere on the ship. Out here, you'll find hot tubs, you'll find your own swimming pool, and lots of areas to relax and lounge in. If you're in one of these cabins, you actually will have direct access onto the Havana Sundeck and the private area. I had never come across this type of cabin before, but I would be really intrigued to hear from you down in the comments. Have you cruised in one of these? And if so, did you like it? And would you recommend it? Deck 5 is also home to the ship's Promenade Deck. If you're anything like me, you will absolutely love this space because you can come with your favourite tea, coffee, or drink and just relax here while taking in all of the ocean views. It's far more relaxing down here for me than the rest of the ship, and you can really connect with the ocean. Moving up one deck, the first of two venues I want to show you on deck 6 is the video arcade. Everything in here is billable to your cabin account, but if you are travelling with kids or maybe adults who enjoy video arcade games, then this is where you'll probably want to come. Right next door is the second venue on this deck, which is Circle C. This is another of the Kids Club's venues on Carnival Horizon. It wasn't open at the point of me shooting this tour, but here's what it looks like on the inside. Deck number 7 is home to two completely unique venues that I've never found at sea before. The first is the Thrill Theatre, which is an interactive cinema which totally immerses you in the experience. This is the waiting room area, and if you go beyond the waiting room, this is the theatre. I appreciate this picture is relatively dark, so bear with me and we'll head back out into the light shortly. The second venue here to show you is the onboard IMAX theatre. This space blew my mind. This was no different to what I would expect to find at an IMAX theatre on land. The team here have managed to get the experience so close. This is not included in your cruise fare, nor is the Thrill Theatre, so you do have to pay extra. However, in my experience, the IMAX theatre is completely worth it. Moving up to deck number 10, we're now on the main pool deck. We're going to see two main swimming pools up here. The first is this one, which is the beach pool that you'll see again later in this tour. If you would like to use a towel on any of the loungers, then you can take these from the towel hut, but just remember to return them at the end of the day. This beach pool is also home to a number of different eateries and bars. This is the Blue Iguana Cantina. There's also a Blue Iguana tequila bar, and there's a rum bar directly opposite. If you're peckish and you're hungry and you don't want anything from this selection, then maybe Guy's Burger Joint will be right up your street. Take it from me, the burgers and the fries here are absolutely fantastic. If you walk beyond these two dining options, you'll find the Lido Marketplace, which is what Carnival Horizon call the onboard buffet. The buffet on board this ship is open for breakfast, lunch, afternoon snacks, dinner, and also late night snacks. So chances are you're going to find it pretty difficult to be hungry while you're on board. One of my favourite features of this space is the floor-to-ceiling glass that allows you to look out over the ocean. There are also large artificial trees all through this venue, which really do help with really simple things like calming down the noise with so many passengers here. This is where you'll also find water machines, juice machines, and also tea and coffee machines, all of which are included in your fare. And yes, this is where you'll also find the soft serve machine that is again totally included in your fare. All the way at the very back of deck number 10 is where you'll find the next of the onboard swimming pools. This is the Tides pool, and it's much smaller than the beach pool that we looked at earlier. You'll also find a number of hot tubs here that are open well into the evening, if a late night hot tub is something that is of interest to you. There are 2 eateries around this pool space. The first is the Seafood Shack, which is, as the name suggests, the onboard seafood bar. You will have to pay extra to enjoy anything from here. Personally, I didn't because I'm not a huge seafood fan. However, I did speak to a number of people who highly recommended the lobster roll, so maybe one to add to your list. Right next door is the onboard pizzeria. This is free and included in your cruise fare and one of my favourite spaces on board. Directly beside this pizzeria, you'll also find Tides Bar, so if you'd like to relax by the pool with your favourite drink, you're not going to have to go back inside to get a fresh one. We've now moved up one more deck, which means that we're on deck number 11, and it's time to look at 2 more speciality dining options. First, this is JiJi Asian Kitchen, which is the onboard Pan-Asian restaurant. You'll see that the dining options up here are far more casual than the ones that we looked at earlier in the video, and in fact you can often come up here for an included lunch during your cruise, so definitely check that out. Right next door you'll find Cucina Del Capitano, which is the Italian speciality restaurant. I loved the theming in here. I really felt they had blended the Italian atmosphere with the nautical atmosphere really, really well. I would really recommend coming and trying Italian during your cruise. We've moved up one more deck, so we're now on deck number 12, and all the way at the very back of the ship is where you'll find the outdoor fitness equipment. If you'd like to get a workout in but you don't want to go to the indoor fitness centre, then you might want to come and have a try of the equipment out here. Next door, you've got the sports court. The sports court during my cruise was so well utilised that I actually had to come to capture these shots in the evening. But if you like to come and play basketball, you're probably going to love it up here. This is also where you'll find the jogging track. 7 laps of this equate to 1 mile, or 1.6 kilometres, so it is pretty straightforward to get your running routine going while you're on the ship. SportSquare is also on deck 12, and this is another of my absolute favourite spaces on the ship. I couldn't really believe just how many different facilities or attractions were up here. Think mini golf, think snooker or pool, think table tennis. There is so much going on. I initially looked at this and thought it must be great for kids, but I found it to be so popular with both families and also adults cruising as adult exclusive groups. So don't worry about coming up here and being totally surrounded by children. This space really is for everyone. There's also a slightly raised section here too, which I'll come back to show you 2 more of the facilities, one of which you can see wrapping all the way around the top deck. Within SportSquare, you'll also find the clubhouse, which is an indoor air-conditioned space, so don't worry if the weather outside is either far too warm or far too wet for you to play outside. You've got the option of being indoors. As we now continue pushing towards the front of the ship, the next space that we come across is the top deck, looking down onto the beach pool that we were at earlier. You can see from up here the size of that pool deck. It is enormous, and there are loads of sun loungers up here. During my cruise, which was in the Caribbean, I never ever struggled to sit down at all, and look at these views. Now, let's talk about Dr. Seuss Waterworks. This is another venue on board that I did think might just be for children. However, the number of adults who are having so much fun here, myself included, on those water slides was great. This is totally included in your cruise fare, so you won't have to pay anything extra to use the water slides or to use these other facilities. You do find that everything on the ground level there is really for young children, but everything up here is for everybody, and trust me, those water slides are a lot of fun. If looking around this ship has made you think, wow, I would love somewhere to just chill out and relax, well, the Cloud9 Spa, all the way at the very front of the ship on deck number 12, could be your answer. In here, you've got a relaxation room and you've also got a thermal suite. The thermal suite features a large jetted bathtub in the middle of the room, or hot tub. You've then got heated loungers all around, and you've got a number of different saunas and steam rooms, each of which are equipped with a different benefit or a different scent. It's a really lovely space to come and relax. This does come at an additional cost, which does mean that it never really seems to get too busy in here, which is great from my perspective. You'll also find the fitness centre within the Cloud9 Spa, although the fitness centre on board is included in your fare. So, although you have to walk through the Cloud9 Spa reception to get here, you don't have to pay anything, you don't even have to check in. So you just walk on by and come and use whichever machines you like. You'll find an array of cardio and also weight equipment in here. On deck number 14, you'll find Skyride, which is a bicycle ride with a difference. This one isn't for anyone with a fear of heights. Imagine going for a bike ride around the top deck of a ship. Actually, imagine going for a bike ride above the top deck of the ship. This is so fun. You're attached to a guide rail the whole time and you're strapped in, so it's perfectly safe, but I would really recommend giving that a go. You'll also find the ropes course up here, which is, again, totally included in your cruise fare, so why not? Come and try and see if you are any good. At the very front of the ship, on deck number 15, we find our penultimate venue of the tour today. This is Serenity, which is the adult exclusive area. You have to be 21 years of age or older to spend time in here. This, to me, felt like one of those club areas on a cruise ship that you would normally pay extra for. I was really surprised to find this included in your cruise fare. The lounges here are far more comfortable than what you'll find elsewhere on the ship. There are also day beds, lots of umbrellas to provide shade, and you'll also find fresh creations here. This venue serves as a snack and salad bar, allowing you the option to have some healthier food while spending time out on deck, and it's also included in your cruise fare. That's it. That's a full look around Carnival Horizon, the cruise ship from Carnival Cruise Line. I really hope you've enjoyed this video today. If you have, then please support my channel by clicking the subscribe button and come and watch this video next. Here, I share with you 15 tips that are so important when cruising with Carnival Cruise Line.